Hello and welcome, Cheryl Wolf, to the podcast. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, thanks. I'm so glad to be here with you.
Great. I just want to share a little bit about you before we get started on conversation so our listeners know who are you. So meet Cheryl Wolf, a vibrant lover of life with a flair for discovery and connection. She's a certified health and wellness coach whose journey of transformation is as inspiring as her mission. Having navigated her own health challenges, Cheryl emerged empowered and lighter, not just by 45 pounds, but freed from the weight of limiting beliefs. Her dedication to lifelong learning, especially in hormone health, ensures her approach is both comprehensive and cutting edge. Cheryl's career as a successful hair entrepreneur across 4 states honed her skill in recognizing what makes people feel their best. This path, coupled with a life-changing illness, steered her to embrace holistic wellness. Today, she helps women over 40 peel away the layers of doubt and rediscover their most authentic selves, inspiring a transformation that transcends the physical. With Cheryl, it's never about shedding weight. It's about shedding the old to welcome the new. Her program, Beyond the Scale, is a personalized journey towards lasting well-being. It's a promise of moving beyond quick fixes to uncover a vibrant life brimming with possibilities. Today's conversation is your invitation to join a guide who lives by the very principles she teaches. In her own retreats of calm, you'll find Cheryl in her garden, cultivating not only food, but a deep connection to the earth, a sanctuary where each season brings its own meditation and bounty. Her love for HIIT classes, hikes, and yoga are a testament to life lived in balance, with each activity enriching her holistic view of health. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for this conversation. Is there
Me
anything
too.
you want to add before we start?
No, I'm just grateful to be here with you today.
Oh, me too. This is going to be a blast. Because you love to learn just like looking at, and reading your bio, transforming the mind and body from the inside out. That's a connection we have. We do that in different ways, and mindset is huge. So I'm just kind of curious, what hit me that I didn't know about you before was being a hair entrepreneur. And how does that tie into helping people feel their best in what you're doing right now?
Yeah, it's funny is all the years behind the chair, talking to people, I was helping them to feel good with their hair. But
Mhm.
really, when it came down to it, it was a chance for them to sit down and be the star, someone listening to what they had to say.
Mhm.
I've always had a desire to help people. And when I went back to school while I was running that or university, it was because I wanted to help other people. But what I did was I helped myself first. Uh,
Yes.
and, that's not, it's never the plan. It's like, oh, I want to do this for someone else. But you put the oxygen mask on first, and it's so much better.
Oh yeah, you have to take care of yourself. You have to do for yourself so you can give more to others. You're
Oh, yeah.
you have to come out
I
of that place of fullness in order to give.
Right. And I spent a lot of time asking people, were they doing things for themselves? Were they taking care of themselves? But I had to ask myself, was I doing it? And I wasn't.
Mhm. Oh, that's so true. I've been a mental health professional for over 20 years, and sometimes what comes out of my mouth is advice I need for myself. Like,
Yes, 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 yes.
they're like,
Listen to
"Oh,
our
I
own
need
words.
somebody else to take care of themselves." And am I doing that? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of our own therapy sometimes. Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we listen to what we're saying, it's like, wait a minute, am I taking my own advice? Yeah, I need to.
Yes. Yes. So I'm also curious, what led you to embracing this holistic wellness?
Probably mostly I would say my illness. So when I was faced with a diagnosis, and at the time there were no treatments. And so the advice was go home, eat well, take care of yourself, and wait it out. And so I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice to anymore. And it was like, all right, so if you only have so many days on this earth, which we never know how many
Mhm.
days,
Yeah.
and I was getting to a deadline that I was like, what do I need to let go of? And it was letting go of things, people, attitudes that
Mhm.
were most helpful in the beginning. And that just really started, it's all the things. We've had plant medicine, we've had all these things for all these years, and they weren't around for nothing. That's how we got our
That's
synthetic medications.
right. 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 So really your illness kind of jump started, which I heard was kind of a lot of advice you always get, eat well, take care of yourself. But what made the transition, the transformation for you to actually embrace that? I know limited days on earth kind of can throw you into that, but what did you start with?
I really did start with letting go of people.
Okay.
I went, all right, if I only have this much time, who do I want to surround myself with? Do I want to surround myself with these people that I put up with, or people that inspire me and people that encourage me in my life? And so, really, it's almost like the advice as a parent you give your children, who you surround yourself with. I
Mhm.
was giving myself. It's the very simple things. It was
Mhm.
that. It was making sure I was getting water, enough water in my body for the day, getting
Mhm.
rest, truly
Mhm.
doing the basics. And a lot of times, the basic stuff, we think, oh, yeah, whatever. We're looking for the more interesting thing. But
Right.
really, if we haven't mastered the basics, that's where we should start. And that's what I started with for myself. Yeah,
So really the basics are really the foundational piece.
exactly.
The hydration, the eating well, the stuff that we've all heard and we're going, "Wah, wah,"
Nah, nah,
or
nah.
we yeah,
I
yeah.
want it quicker. I want it faster.
Yes, I want the newness, because we do like variety, but we have to start with the foundational piece, and the people around us really influence our environment a lot.
Yes.
And so what are some like over the years with you, working with women, and what are some of those, beliefs or things that they take on from other people that they need to really let go of?
I would probably say one of them is diets. You know,
Okay.
your girlfriends, like, I would go around and my girlfriends would go, okay, we're all going to stop eating sugar. We're just going to do this together. Well, does your body really, yes, it's good for you, but do you need to do what everybody else is doing?
Right, right.
I think
This
that's a
fad
part of
thing.
it.
Yeah.
We do things because it's like, oh yeah, everybody's doing that. Let's try it. And why one person's successful and someone else isn't. Um,
Mhm.
but I think it's that, and I also think it's a lot of what we've learned long ago. Like, we label food.
Mhm.
And by labeling food, it just made me more hungry. That was one of the things that I personally struggled with, that, was like, oh, I can't give that up. I love that. Okay. When I have to take it away, I love it. But if I
Mhm.
don't have a label on it and it's not bad, do I still want it as much as I did when you know, it's like nobody craves things more than the things that you can't have, in
Yes.
quotations.
Right. I mean, I was just going to ask you to explain a little bit more about labeling, but you're kind of talking about you set it almost on a pedestal or something that you can't have or that you can't give up or that you love so much that you couldn't go without it. Is that what you're talking about
Yes.
labeling food? Okay.
Yes, because we make things, and there are things that, quote, maybe aren't healthy, but your family, that was a traditional
Mhm.
dish.
Mhm.
So you shouldn't enjoy it? No, you should enjoy it. And it's just by taking away, when you stop saying this is good and this is bad, it opens it up. So if you say, oh my gosh, I've just been craving that cookie,
Mhm.
then eat the cookie and be done.
Yeah.
Don't say you can't have the cookie, because the longer you torture yourself, the more you have to have the whole bag.
Oh my gosh, that's just like a psychological toy for me. It's like, oh, nope, you can't have it. You're giving up sugar. That's bad for you. And then all of a sudden,
Right.
like you want it more. Like
Right.
you can't
Exactly.
stop thinking about it,
Well,
right?
think about it like, and I think this is probably a bad example, but you're young and you're dating, and there was always in high school the bad boyfriend or the bad boy, and everybody wanted to date the bad boy. No, he isn't someone you're going to marry and take home. He isn't somebody you're going to keep. He's just somebody to play with.
Yeah. And just
Well, it's the
dabble.
same idea in food.
Right, right, right. And so there's some good stuff, there's bad stuff, but if we label it, like how much of it, how many people label like, oh, I love broccoli. I just can't,
Yeah, they
can't
don't.
get
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. No,
We don't crave that.
no, we don't crave that. But we don't crave that because, we know the packaged foods have things in it to make us crave.
Right.
We know that logically.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think a lot of it has to do with just conditioning and things that we've learned over the years. And that's like, how do we look at food? What do we think? When you're cooking, what are you thinking about? Are you hurrying and getting it done and just making this meal? But if you just took a few minutes and you said, I'm going to just infuse some love in this, I just can't wait to share this meal with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to benefit and absorb the nutrition so much more. So the way we think about what we're doing and how we're
Mm-hmm.
caring for ourselves is a huge part of it. And that takes time. It's not like, oh, I'm going to decide to do this and it's all better. It takes repetition of reminding ourselves that food is just food, and
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to have some bad food.
Yeah, I mean, it brings up a couple things. One is I remember doing a workshop one time, and it wasn't even about food. It was a wellness thing, but a gal, like I made an example of like some like if you really, really crave like candy bar, like have it and don't beat yourself up over it.
Exactly.
That was the thing, is like if you can have it, just don't beat yourself up over it. And she's like, oh my gosh, that was like a freeing idea for her.
Yes.
Because I think what we do, we label it and then we give into it and then we beat ourselves up some more. So it's this cycle of
Yes.
negativity
Yes.
and stuff. And so
Exactly.
how do you help people break that?
I think it's more of we're adding things into our life
Hmm.
instead of taking things away. So what can I add to my life that brings me more calm, that brings me more peace? What are the things that I need to add? And that voice gets less and less. And the
Mhm.
things that we really don't need in our life start getting shoved out because we're adding more of the good things into our life.
Mhm. So I see that as yes, because the more that you are enjoying life and having a good time and focusing on joy, happiness, giving, hope, whatever, that the less you have space
Yes.
to think about beating yourself up or labeling, just this thing about bad food and just being overcome by that. I think the more good you have, the more you want to be good, feel good, think good
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah. And we're not learning it when we're doing it right. We're learning it when we do it wrong. When we're going on this journey, which it is a lifetime journey. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And
Mhm,
so making those changes really tiny steps
mhm.
so that we can be successful and not just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to change everything right now. And I've done that. I've done all the mistakes already for everyone.
Well,
So
thank
you don't
you.
have to do them anymore. It's like I've done the, all or nothing, which I think is a great, as another thing we do. It's like, I'm going
Mhm,
to eat all this stuff or I'm not going to eat anything. It's, the all or nothing is not going to help. It is really truly when you are happy, when you are finding things that bring you joy. It's like a group of people. You're going to go to a new place and start exercising. it is the group of people that you're surrounded with there that encourage you to come back, or you build
Mhm.
relationships or friendships.
Yes.
All that is building on to the life you want.
Mhm.
So that's definitely it. Go find the joy.
Go find the joy. And I don't know, maybe it's just the holiday season coming around
Oh,
here.
yes.
I think about, the traditions that we have around food and
Hmm.
family and holidays.
Yes.
I mean, we have those, and you had touched on it, like a favorite dish of,
Yeah.
somebody's. Well, we're going to come up with that, and it might be made with all the good stuff, right?
Right. Right.
From past, but enjoy it. Like, you're
Yes.
there because it's the family. You like that
It's
stuff. It's comforting because it's tradition. Can you speak into that a
yes.
little bit?
Yeah, because I think what happens is w- when we're restricting so much, then you go to that family. Oh, no, I can't have that. Oh, no, I can't have that. But you can, if you're not allergic to it,
Hmm.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the company, enjoy the conversation, because food is really to be shared. And so when
Hmm.
you're sharing it and you're enjoying each other, and it's one meal.
Yeah.
One meal is not going to destroy you. One meal is not going to throw you off track. It is what you do, you know, all the other times. And hey, after dinner, maybe you can be the one that encourages everybody. Let's go for a walk
Yeah.
afterwards and enjoy nature. And, there's always a way to mix the two,
Right. Right.
but be there, be present, because we have only now. So when you're with your family, be with your family, enjoy the food. Don't worry about any of the other rules. There aren't rules. And question your rules that you make for yourself. If it's around food, question, why do I feel I need to have that rule?
Hmm.
One of the things I hear frequently is people say, "Oh, I can't have that in my house." Why?
Because
Why
I
can't you
eat
have
it
it in your
all.
house? It's all right. And it's like, it's not, it's what do you do with it? What do you
Yeah.
think about it? Can I think about that differently? Can I think about, I know it's in the cupboard. Who cares?
There's so many things in the cupboard I don't know about.
Right.
Okay. Why is it just that one thing?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, can we look at it a little bit differently? But yes, enjoy your family, enjoy your traditional meals. Don't make it a big deal. It's one meal.
One meal, and you'll survive.
Yeah. And you'll
And
probably feel your tummy will be happy, your brain will be calm.
start a
And
new
then,
tradition of going for a walk
yeah,
out in nature.
find another way to move. Like, oh, maybe it's a dance thing after dinner.
Well, why not? Get the energy flowing, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So you work with a lot of women that, traditionally women love to like have a scale and base
Yes.
themselves off of a number on the scale.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
I hate the scale because here's the thing. The scale, you're gonna get on the scale maybe early in the morning
Hmm.
and you go, oh, feels pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you might get on the scale later that day and you're like, oh crap, I'm 3 pounds up. Yep,
Mhm.
you are, because
Yep.
there's this thing called water. And it's probably water. But we measure ourselves of our success, and we measure ourselves of where we are, our age. Oh, I'm doomed for this. Or the scale is, oh, it's not, it's making me, if the scale is emotionally hurting you, throw it away, because you're going to put on those pair of pants, or you're going to put on that dress, or whatever that is. You know how you feel.
Yeah.
And maybe you want to feel better. And that's where your measurement is how do I feel in my body? How do I feel in my clothes?
Hmm.
Um, and you don't need a scale for that.
No, and I think you bring out a really important part for people is just like how you feel in your body. If you are in tune with how you feel, this could go both ways because I'm one
Right.
like, one way or the other. It's not that. I mean, you can go both ways, but, one is if you feel, do you really need this food? What do you really need?
Yes.
What?
Sometimes you need a hug.
Yes. Sometimes it's not, you need something besides food. You need something besides a beverage. You need something, maybe your body needs to move. Maybe you need a hug. Maybe you need to talk to somebody. There's other things that our body is telling us.
Mhm.
It's not all food.
But we're not always aware of that.
Hmm.
I think I can, stress is one of those things. How many times have you opened the pantry and you're just staring at it? You're like, I'm hungry for something, but I don't know what it is, but I'm sure there's something in here. But
Oh,
if you sat down and ask yourself, what, why, what's really going on?
yeah. Hmm.
Am I worried about something else and I'm distracting myself with food? Am I stressed about my job? Am I stressed about something else? What is going on? And a lot of times, too, thirst
Hmm.
will make you hungry, but you're actually really, your body's like craving water. So it is becoming in tune, and that takes practice to
Hmm.
notice, like, oh, I'm feeling kind of whatever, or I'm really craving carbs. And,
Hmm.
so what's going on in my life?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did and I don't know if it has come out yet or not, but I just remember doing an episode on what you're hungry for is not
Yeah.
here, and it was just,
Yeah.
I've done that before in some other workshops, and it's like staring in the fridge. And it's like, okay, when you're staring in the fridge, close it, because you're not, what's there, what's in there is not what you're looking for. And so
Right.
you have to tune in. So you have any tips on I mean, it takes time to tune into yourself, but is there a few things that maybe you could suggest people to start with?
Yeah, I think journaling is one of them. Like, if you're, just kind of like, how do I feel? How do I feel in my body today? What's going on? Am I on a high today? Am I on a low today? And if
Mhm.
you're, like, I'm just having one of those dang days and
Yeah.
you're staring, that it's not the food that's going to solve it.
Hmm.
So it is. And I think women, we need to learn to ask for what we need. And a lot of times I think we don't want to bother someone or
Hmm.
ask someone, but
Hmm.
it is okay. And when you ask someone else for help to listen to you or hug or whatever it is that you need,
Hmm.
you're giving them a chance to shine.
Yeah.
So instead of thinking it as, oh, I'm burdening this person, think of it as you're helping that person to shine.
Oh, yeah. Because we all want to give. We want,
Right.
we all want to help. And most of us don't know how to help each other.
Right.
And we're not all walking around with a big sticky note on our head. I need this.
Right.
I need a hug.
Yeah.
We
We
do.
have to ask. We
We
have
have to
to
ask.
ask for what we need. And sometimes maybe it's a need for space. Maybe it's a time that you need some quiet. Maybe you need some, Calgon, take me away, take a bath,
Right.
or whatever it is. But it is learning to ask and asking yourself and noticing, gosh, are my shoulders tight?
Mhm.
What's going on? How
Mhm.
does my body feel?
And we don't take enough time to do that, do we?
Mm-mm. No, if you find yourself with the spinning conversation in your head and you just keep repeating that, that one, that is a guarantee you're totally not in your body. So that's a
Totally out
perfect
there.
time to take your hand, put it on your chest, put another one on your belly, and just do some breathing and come
Mhm.
back into your body. Because if you're in your head and you're playing that story and that stress or whatever, your body has the answers and it's going to calm you down.
That is so true. I'm just recalling some just examples of my personal life where I was like, oh yeah,
Please share.
spinning in my head, whether it was my emotions were just off, and then somebody was grumpy, so then I decided I'd have to be grumpy, and then how you make that story in your head where you spout off to somebody and how they're going to react and how you're going to respond back, and you're up here and it's like, okay, time out, take a breath.
Yeah. Yes.
What is
Yes.
really going on?
Yeah. And and it's very common. We all do it, you know.
Yeah.
So it is that those opportunities. So for me, it's get to know yourself better. What are the things you really like, and what are the things that are absolutely no, and make keep them a no.
Mhm.
Start getting to know you and what do you need. It's not a selfish thing. It's a way that you can take care of yourself better
Right.
because we're setting ourselves up for later. I want to be able to do a lot of things when I'm a lot older.
Well, so do I. And the more we can tune in it to it sooner,
Yes,
but
the better.
I was going to say the better, the less difficult it's going to be,
Yes.
in the future.
Right. And we we talk about food and we talk about weight and we talk about the way we're looking, but I want people to think about later. Like when you have grandchildren, or you want to be able to pick them up.
Yeah.
You want to walk your dog. What are the things that you want to continue to do for the next 20 years?
Hmm.
So we start now.
Yeah. Getting people to vision how they're
Yeah.
going to live their life 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. Like, okay, I could have grandkids any year now. I've got those, kids that are older. And it's like, okay, what do I really want to be able to do?
Right.
And it's like, or even if you're not thinking grandkids, what would you
Right.
want to do? Like travel? Like, okay, so
Exactly.
see whatever you want to do, that takes a lot of energy.
It does. And so when we're caring for ourselves now, we're kind of taking care of our future because I want to be, years ago there was a gal and she was on one of those late night shows and I was much younger and she was probably I think she was like 80 and she could bend over and touch her toes and do all these things and everybody was all impressed and I thought, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Because think about it, climbing a ladder, all the things that happen as we go. We have aging parents, so we're watching these things. So
Hmm.
what you don't want to see in yourself, this is what we want to set up so that we can care for our own selves as we age.
Right. And we want to live like a vibrant life.
Yes.
That's,
Yes.
active and, going places and, having
Having the mental energy and the
yes,
physical energy to do it. Yeah.
yes. And that just sounds like a great life, but we got to start now. Like it's
Yes.
just not going to happen, the
No, we
longer we
didn't.
wait.
Right. I didn't get 45 pounds overnight, extra pounds, and I didn't lose it really fast. And so it all is a process of little steps. And like I said, really do the basic stuff. Start asking yourself questions of,
Mhm.
you know, what do I really want? How do I want to feel in my body? It's not a size, it's a feeling.
It's a feeling. And that is really honing in. And you have a program called Beyond the Scale. And is that kind of encompassing what that is? Because I feel
Yes.
like that is a great name for a program because one, ditch the scale, but
Yes.
beyond the scale, because somehow we all go to the doctor and somehow they still think it's so important for them to weigh us, which I always think those scales
Yes.
are off anyways, but it's
Yeah, the whole BMI thing, we know that's not even true because you can have somebody who's a big bodybuilder and their BMI is going to be off.
yeah.
So that doesn't really tell us a lot of stuff. But really, when we're starting, the beyond the scale is personalized to each person because just like we all have a thumbprint, we're
Mhm.
all a little bit different. Our lifestyles are a little bit different. And so we co-create it so that it fits. And it's not a diet. It's a slow process of getting to know yourself. And then the weight just starts shedding. It's funny is the happier you are, the more you're willing to do the self-care for you, and self-care is enormous
Yeah.
things. When
Yeah.
you start doing that, and you start feeling better, you make better choices for yourself.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
definitely.
it's easy. It's like, oh wait, I just lost 5 pounds. Wow. You know,
Well, and I
because you're
think
not killing yourself. It doesn't have, we make it like, oh, it's got to be hard. You got to struggle through this. And it's like, no, we do not need to white knuckle anything. That is
right.
not living.
No. Well, and I'm just thinking, I'm hearing your tone and it's like, oh, we got to white knuckle this, we have to do this. It just seems so restricting. It seems so heavy. Like if we're talking
Yeah,
about weight, it's like heavy weight. But then when we think about times when we feel good and that we're like happy and stuff, it's like we're like floating on a cloud. We're already lighter.
right.
Just changing our mindset can help that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And it's just taking something and going, why do I look at it this way? Could
Mhm.
I look at it a different way? Let me test it out. It's not going to hurt anything to try a new perspective.
Yes. I would say it's always an experiment. Like,
Yeah, everything is an experiment. My garden is an experiment. My daily life is let's try this and see if it works. And if it doesn't, it's kind of like going to school. No one taught us that failure was good, and it
mhm.
actually is. I
Yeah,
didn't learn doing it right. I learned doing it wrong.
right. Right. We all learn doing things wrong first, right?
Right.
Because otherwise we wouldn't learn anything. We would
So
just,
the quicker we can, go, oh yeah, that didn't work for me. Okay, let's try the next thing. And it's not a disaster. It's an aha. And we
yeah.
should be asking our younger generations, did you mess up today? Because you know what? If you messed up and you experimented, that meant you were trying.
Oh, and
Yes.
you're doing something.
Instead of what did you learn? What did you mess up? What did you try and you were scared to try it?
That is great. I'm going to write that down because I have to have some different questions to ask my kids, when they come
Yeah.
in. And I've heard that before and I couldn't remember where I heard it but it's the importance of releasing the releasing the weight of the word
Right.
failure.
Right. And so if we can learn it for ourselves, then we can pass that on to other generations where it's like, it's not a, oh my gosh, I totally messed that up because nobody's watching. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of our mess ups are way bigger in our head than they actually are.
We
It's
make
like, have you ever
we make
thought
it
like,
big.
oh, I need to have that conversation with so and so, and oh my gosh, and you've already played it out, and it's going to be awful, and then it happens, and you go, oh, that was really good. That was really we bonded. We had it went so much better.
Right. Right. Because we make up a lot of stories in our heads that aren't true.
Yeah.
And
So it all starts with how can we think of things a little bit differently?
that's awesome. And you have transformed, I'm sure, numerous lives with that because that is a huge thing to learn. And the sooner we can learn that it's, okay, I'm sorry, it's all in our head, one way or the other.
Yeah.
But our thoughts are the starting point to
Yes.
whether we have a great life or we have a life of misery because of how we think about it. And the same goes for the weight that we have and beyond the scale is really, I'm thinking, looking at those limiting beliefs and
Yeah.
getting those out and like, what do you really want your life to look like and feel like and be like?
Yeah. I mean, one of the other things you were talking about with what did I do was I get to work out, not
Mhm.
I have to work out. So even changing the language can
Mhm.
sometimes help us to feel better. I get to do this. And I'm lucky because somebody else may not be able to.
Right. Right.
So what can you do and say, oh, I get to do this. I get to put my feet on the ground and
Mhm.
I get to go for a walk and enjoy this.
Yeah. Because there's always somebody we can look at that is worse off than us.
Oh, heck yeah.
And we can play the other game too, but we can aspire to be more like them. Like there's 100-year-old lady at our church, and I'm like, I want to be like that. She's all full of spunk, she comes in, I mean, she was still driving just a couple years ago, and it was just like, okay, I want to be like that. I want to have my
Yes.
mind. I want to be able to interact. I want to be able to go places. You know, we can look to people that to inspire us so that we can change ourselves and we can be grateful for what we have and what we can
Yes.
do.
Yes. And it is okay to be sad and it is okay to have bad days and it is okay but don't push them off.
Yeah.
feel whatever it is and go through that feeling
Mhm.
because it's valuable. It's going to teach you something, whether it's a positive feeling or a negative feeling. You're going to learn something from it if you allow yourself to completely feel it.
That is so true. The feelings I feel like are messengers. They're trying to tell
Yes.
us something. So listen, I mean, I think we have a tendency to more like, I think I do at least, like, what's the message the negative feeling is trying to tell me? But I have to embrace the positive feelings too, so I can do more of that.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Grab onto those people.
Yes. Yes. So is there any like one thought or one thing you want to leave our listeners with today?
You don't need to be fixed. You are perfect as you are. And just get to know yourself better, because the more you get to know yourself, I mean, you are your best friend. So be kind to yourself and just take one little step at a time. And those do add up. I know we hear it again and again, but it is the truth. It is what I've done. It is what many, many people have done. It's one tiny step. You've got it.
Awesome. So, listeners out there, are you ready to transform from the inside out and feel better than you ever thought possible? Are you ready to move beyond the scale and step into your power? Well, Cheryl Wolf is ready to take the journey with you beyond the scale, one empowering step at a time. So, connect with Cheryl on Instagram, Facebook, and on her website, CherylWolfWellness.com. All of that will be in the show notes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for joining me today. There's so many good gems came out of this conversation.
Oh, thank you. It was so fun talking with you. I enjoyed it.
Same here. Thanks again.